Just imagine, the sky will never be the same again. Two symbols of a new era are preparing to clash: the American F-47 and the Chinese J-36. The first is a general in the sky, commanding an army of drones and spotting the enemy long before it is seen. The second is a true phantom hunter, built for lightning-fast strikes and vanishing just as quickly, like a shadow on the horizon. This is no longer just two fighter jets. This is two philosophies of war. America bets on networks, artificial intelligence, and command and control. China bets on speed, silence, and deadly long-range strikes. And now imagine these two finally meeting in the skies. Who wins? This isn't just a video. These are the real secrets of the sky. Join us, hit subscribe, because the answers aren't nearly as obvious as they might seem. To understand why the world even needs the F-47 and J-36, we have to step back to the days when other giants ruled the skies. The United States had two true kings of the sky. The first, the F-22 Raptor. This was the fighter everyone feared. In close combat, it was practically unbeatable. Its maneuverability allowed it to perform moves other jets simply couldn't handle. Its top speed was over 1,500 miles per hour, with a combat radius of about 470 miles. Two Pratt & Whitney F119 engines let it cruise supersonically without afterburners. Its size was also impressive, about 62 feet long with a wingspan of nearly 45 feet. Inside was a mix of stealth coating and a special shape that made the Raptor almost invisible to the radars of its time. It was a true predator of the skies, but it had one massive drawback. It cost more than $150 million per unit, and the US never managed to build enough Raptors to meet its needs. The second, the F-35 Lightning II. This was meant to be the universal fighter for the Air Force, the Navy, and even NATO allies. It combined stealth, advanced electronics, and multi-role flexibility. It could fly at about 1,200 miles per hour, with a combat radius of around 685 miles, powered by a Pratt & Whitney F135 engine. But the compromises were obvious. It was often criticized for not being as maneuverable as the F-22, for its maintenance complexity, and for a price tag that often exceeded $100 million per jet. That's why the F-35 remained more of a workhorse of modern aviation rather than a true Superman. And then the United States had an idea. A new fighter was needed, not just faster or stealthier, but one that would change the very concept of air warfare. That's how the F-47 was born, the symbol of a new, networked war. For the US, it became not just another fighter jet, but a guarantee. America would remain number one in the skies. Now, let's turn to China. After creating the J-20, the Chinese military for the first time felt the true taste of victory. This jet, known as the Mighty Dragon, became China's first fifth-generation fighter. It measured over 66 feet long, with a wingspan of about 42 feet, making it the largest fighter in its class worldwide. Two engines, at first Russian AL-31F, later Chinese WS-10C, pushed it to about 1,370 miles per hour, with a combat radius of around 745 miles. The jet featured stealth coatings, integrated sensors, a modern radar, and internal weapons bays that significantly reduced its radar signature. For the first time, China had come close enough to the Americans that the world began to say, China could become the new air power leader. But it was clear, the J-20 alone wouldn't change the balance. Its main task was simply to catch up with the US, to create an image of parity. Surpassing America was a completely different story. So, Chinese engineers decided to take a risk. They borrowed the idea of a flying wing, a concept Americans had refined for decades in their strategic bombers and drones. But instead of building a giant aircraft, they created a compact fighter, combining this shape with new engines and long-range missiles. This is how the J-36 was born. So, what are they really capable of? The F-47 is a true aircraft of the future. Its design looks like something out of science fiction. Sharp angles, sleek lines, a body made of composite materials, and a special stealth coating that reduces its radar cross-section to just a few hundredths of a square meter. To most enemy sensors, it appears more like a phantom than a real combat machine. But the real power of the F-47 isn't in its shape, it's in its heart. Inside the jet works an artificial intelligence brain, capable of analyzing the battlefield in real time, calculating dozens of scenarios, and guiding the pilot to the best possible decision. Even more, it can control entire swarms of drones at once, using them as scouts, decoys, or strike platforms. That makes the F-47 unique. It can be both the soldier completing the mission and the commander leading an army. Its arsenal looks like a catalog of the most advanced weapons. AIM-260 JATM missiles with a range of over 125 miles and speeds above Mach 4. 501,000-pound JDAM bombs able to strike targets with meter-level precision. New generation laser guidance systems that make a miss almost impossible. The ability to launch drones directly from its internal bays, creating layered attacks that are extremely difficult to defend against. The jet's size underlines its status as a machine of the future. About 62 feet long, a 44-foot wingspan, and nearly 16 feet tall. And the engine, a true marvel of engineering. A single next-generation Pratt & Whitney F-300 turbofan lets it cruise at supersonic speeds of more than 1,180 miles per hour without afterburners. At maximum thrust, the F-47 can reach about 1,550 miles per hour, with a combat radius of around 745 miles. That means only one thing: it can approach silently, strike with precision, and retreat to safety long before the enemy even realizes what happened. In contrast to the American F-47, the silhouette of the J-36 immediately gives off something alien. It's a flying wing, looking more like America's experimental drones, such as the X-47B or the B-2 Spirit bomber, than a classic fighter. This shape minimizes its radar visibility and lets it operate in full phantom mode. The size of the J-36 is impressive. About 56 feet long with a wingspan of 39 feet and a height of nearly 15 feet. It's smaller and more compact than the J-20, but that's exactly what makes it more maneuverable and harder to intercept. Its main weapon is the PL-15 missile, equipped with an active radar seeker and a strike range of over 155 miles. In the future, it's expected to carry hypersonic missiles capable of flying faster than Mach 5, turning it into a true long-range killer. Its power plant consists of two next-generation WS-15 turbojet engines. They push the J-36 to speeds of over 1,370 miles per hour and allow it to perform sharp maneuvers. Its combat radius is estimated at around 810 miles, giving it the ability to operate far from its home base. And now, imagine they finally meet in the sky. At long range, the J-36 looks like a true predator. Its speed allows it to be the first to reach a firing position, a lightning strike from the shadows. But the F-47 never flies alone. It is always part of a vast system where satellites, drones, and other aircraft share information in real time. Its strength lies not only in missiles, but in coordination and data. In close combat, the advantage shifts to the F-47. It can deploy decoy drones, confuse the enemy, and deliver a decisive strike without being noticed. In such a scenario, the J-36 risks losing all its initial advantage, and most importantly, artificial intelligence. The F-47 is not just a fighter jet. It's a computer with wings, helping the pilot make decisions faster than the enemy can even understand what's happening. The J-36 remains a traditional hunter, dangerous but still lacking the higher-level system the Americans possess. So, who would win? If it's a short, lightning-fast strike, the Chinese J-36 could deliver a devastating blow. But in a large-scale war, where information dominance, technology, and allies matter most, America still leads with its F-47. This isn't just a contest of jets, it's a duel of strategies. The hunter versus the general, the shadow versus the army. And the outcome of this battle could shape not only the future of aviation, but the global balance of power. Who do you think will rule the skies of the future? The American F-47 or the Chinese J-36? Share your thoughts in the comments. And remember, the real fight is only beginning. Hit subscribe to stay in the front row of this story. See you in the next video.